Here is a door from a Lopi stove. I've been using it for about a year. Haven't cleaned it, just blew off the dirt. And the gasket is leaking. I could see air gap right here next to the latch. It was clearly leaking air and the fire was burning quite hot. So inspecting it now, just blew off the dirt, and I noticed that I've got a clean spot on the glass here. You can see a little bit of clouding from the soot, but there's a clean spot here which makes me think I've got an air leak right here. And there's a gasket between this bracket here and the glass, and I'm not going to attempt to take the bracket off. I'm sure I would break all of these old rusted bolts, so I'm going to just fill this area with cement. I've got some cement here after I replaced the gasket with the new larger gasket. I took a guess on what size gasket I would need. This is, I think, the original gasket here, and the new one that I've got is clearly a little bigger, so hopefully I'll get a good seal. This is the gasket material I'm using, 3/4 inch rope. I'll take off the handle on the door just to make it a little easier to work with. There are shims here that set how tight the door will close, so you don't want to lose those shims. So the old gasket right here, that was glued in. There's cement. So I had used a refractory cement to place this original gasket, and I don't know how that rates against the actual product you're supposed to use, but it is certainly hard. This is the channel now. I'm thinking that's clean enough. So the new gasket is easily frayed. It's a fiberglass gasket. So my thought was to use some of the extra material to see if I could whip the end of it nice and tight. So leave a little bit to tie it off. So it's cleaned up quite a bit. Now that's a much better looking end. Alrighty. So this has been kneaded already. This is the leaky corner. Can clean the glass later. Alrighty. Okay. Cut it just a hair long. Oh yeah, liking that. Alrighty. Let's go put this in. So ready to go back in. I've got the handle back installed and the hinges are dropped in. There we go. And that's a nice tight fit. We'll let that dry and clean things up. Here is a roaring fire with the vent full open with pine. Now we'll pull the vent and see if it quiets down a bit now that we've got a working gasket in the door. Back to open vent.